everyone, it's time for our third and final match of the opening day. I've got Bren with me and Clint. Welcome, Papers. How are you doing?
Yeah. The ball jokes have started early, have they? He hasn't even arrived.
He's not even here yet.
T1, that's
He hasn't got here. We've got bold players everywhere. Boostio, Demon One. I mean, there's a lot of people without hair here, Yinsu. You can't single me out.
You feel represented.
I feel singled out.
Aww. Okay. I mean, I couldn't really say Achilles, because then he would have been really,
Right.
really
Yeah,
good.
I'll feel fine about it if I get to shave your head later.
Mine?
That's the only thing I'm taking.
I mean, okay, I'll think about it. But let's talk about T1 versus EDG before we derail everything that we're doing today. I believe that you guys did some predictions, bracketology.
Oh god.
Where, by the way, you don't know how to put a logo the right way.
I don't know how to do bracket predictions
We need to
as
talk
well.
about that. We need to talk about that.
We can talk about a lot. There's a lot to break down.
Yeah, let's see how wrong you were and how that played out. Check this out, guys.
Welcome to Bracketology version 5. Let's get into this, Josh. Honestly, I mean, you guys know the drill. We've been doing these bracketologies for far too long now, and now at this point as well, I'm tired of bearing the responsibility, the weight and mantle of responsibility that's been on my shoulders for all of these brackets. Josh, we're going to split this. You're going to do Group A, I'm going to do Group B, but there's a twist in this as well. We're actually allowed to affect each other's side of the groups, and we've got a little veto card as well.
Seems
so
reasonable.
Red X, if you feel like you disagree with any of my choices,
And you with mine.
and me with yours, I'm allowed to use the red veto.
May I begin?
You can begin.
All
Yeah,
right.
Group A, get started.
The quicker I get going, the better it is for everybody, I think.
Okay.
So NRG, they're beating Navi, I think.
I would agree with that.
And then, doesn't even matter who they're playing up top.
Just
I'm
pull
putting
them
them
into
straight through.
I mean, I agree with that. That's
You
fine.
don't even know who they're playing against.
I would agree with that, though.
All right, so we'll knock Navi down to lowers. That makes sense. And T1, I think T1 are beating EDG to start out with.
Yeah.
EDG, they haven't been able to find their wins at international tournaments. And that puts, T1, I'm saying they lose. They drop down here to play this lower bracket game.
Okay.
EDG, though, they're in the game against Navi. I'm going to see if I can bait out the veto early. I reckon EDG beat Navi.
Okay.
EDG, they beat Navi. You want to veto it?
I'm not going to veto that, no.
You're not going to veto it.
No, not yet.
EDG go through
No,
against
wait,
T1.
what? EDG go through?
Yep. Now what? Now what?
I'm vetoing that. Swap that around. Get T1 in.
So now T1 are the team that go through. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Oh, no.
What do you mean that's so unfortunate?
Oh, no, my bracket.
This is what I would want.
Oh, no, my bracket.
Okay, I mean, he's gaming the system now. The entire segment is going to pot. All right, I'm going to get started with this. DRX attacking Seoul Esports.
Yep.
It's got to be DRX going through.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I think that's just understandable. Attacking Seoul Esports, I like the underdogs here.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
definitely.
looking like one of the weaker teams coming in. Foot versus EG.
Close game.
Close game, but Demon 1 is in Tokyo.
Yep.
So I'm going to be
makes a
doing
difference.
Demon 1.
Yeah, I'm not mad about that one, honestly.
Yep.
That
I'm going to
is
be doing.
literally
I also
upside
just
down.
said I'm going to be doing Demon 1 for the team. I mean, just the entirety of the team as well. So that leaves us there. And for our number 1 seed going through, I'm actually going to have EG going all the way.
You're going to have...
Yeah, I think DRX are looking a little bit weaker. Are you going to try and veto that?
I mean, I'm tempted. I'll let you get away with it because I think there might be more egregious stuff coming up.
Is the logo upside down? I can't really tell.
One of them is. Attacking Seoul Esports against Foot then in the lower
Yeah,
bracket.
attacking Seoul Esports. I mean, thank you for keeping me on track.
You don't know how a group works.
Yeah, I don't know how this is working. Foot down there, attacking Seoul Esports. I'm having Foot going through.
You're having Foot beat attacking Seoul Esports? Yep, I'm on board with that.
That's what I'm going with here, I think.
So that sets up Foot playing against DRX.
Yeah, Foot versus DRX.
Yeah.
And for this one, you're not going to like this one. I want Foot going through.
You want Foot going through?
I want Foot going through.
DRX for the first time being eliminated from groups?
Yes.
That's a red card. That's a red card.
You
That's
didn't
a
even give me
veto.
time to put the
No, that's a veto.
sticker on.
That ain't happening. That simply ain't happening. DRX,
So DRX
always
goes
make it
through?
out of groups. They always make it out of
I mean, I
groups.
disagree with that.
Don't be
How
a
have we
fool.
managed to get a good bracket going?
I like it.
I actually quite like this. This does match.
All
No, it
you
doesn't
needed
match,
to do
actually.
was not have sole responsibility.
Okay, well, there we go. We split the responsibility and we've come up with a kind of reasonable bracket as well. We'll see actually how this one plays out. And we'll send it back to the desk as well. What do you make of all of this?
I like it.
I don't like it.
I like
I
that.
don't like it.
I will say that you've been right so far, which is scary.
Yeah,
I'm a
but
bit afraid.
we've only had 2 games yet.
Yeah, and you're
2 games.
100%.
A coin could do that.
Yeah, I mean,
A chicken could do that.
I mean, I feel like you and a coin have a lot in common anyway. So, I mean, that's a big shout. But you also had T1 going through in this matchup. So let's talk about T1 and tell me why you had them beating EDG here.
Yeah, I think that they have surprised a lot of people and improved a ton. They're a team that at lock-in didn't look like they had too much going for them, but they've changed around their IGLing and added a huge amount of structure to the team.
Yeah, I think it's added a ton to this team. I mean, prior as well, you had, I believe it was Munchkin IGLing for the team. Doesn't have much experience when it comes to attack shooters as well when it was doing that. But at some point, they also switched it over to Zeta. Yeah. And this guy does have a ton of experience. I mean, we know he does. He's played for absolutely years as well in Valorant on top of that. And the improvements have been meteoric from T1. It's quite astounding, honestly, as well. There's not many teams that compare in terms of the trajectory that they've been on.
Would you say that they are the most improved team out of everyone, though?
That's more difficult to give them like the superlative of that, because you've also got like EG over there too, who I think only beat Heretics. Like, listen, we don't want to start ragging on the EMEA teams, but they beat Heretics, and then they've become this absolute force here to be reckoned with. So I don't know about most improved, but they're definitely up there as one of the most improved teams. I think it remains to be seen based on what they do in this tournament.
Yeah, well, they are in the arena, and Golden Boy had a catch-up with them. Check this out.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Been a long time. Hey, quick question, Carpe. Who do you think is going to win Masters Tokyo?
It's only Masters, so I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
But I want to say T1.
I think that's the right answer. Hey, brother, you have a good one out there. Take it easy, okay? Back to you guys.
He did say him, right? I couldn't really hear that loud.
Yeah,
he said
Golden
that.
Boy's also like a homing missile of friendliness. Yeah. just locked in on him.
It's like he's going to be catching up with a pint after the game. Like, he's just...
I would watch that
so
content.
friendly.
That is content that I would watch.
Content.
But let's talk about Carpe and Munchkin as well. I mean, you guys know Carpe for, I feel like, a very, very long time. I think when he started, I think people were not very kind about his transition.
Or Mega Lol Overwatch player.
Yeah.
I saw a lot.
Talk me through how much he's improved here.
It's been good. I mean, the improvements have been really nice. I think off the back of what I said prior, they switched the IGLing. Look, Munchkin is freed up in that capacity. Doesn't have to focus too much on the calling, which obviously improves his play. But also, Carpe has just been developing and learning the game steadily over the course of his entire tenure so far that it's been playing on T1. And it's been really nice, honestly. Not only that, I mean, the guy is playing a multitude of roles. Yeah. I mean, he's one of the most flexible players we have at this event, which is kind of ridiculous considering the kind of lack of prior competitive experience he's even had in Valorant.
Absolutely, and those aren't just normal roles. He also plays like Gecko and Bind and stuff like that, but he's also got that raw aim that carries him through so many sticky situations and wasn't really showcasing. Actually, at lock-in, he ended up being one of their best players, which was weird because we were expecting big performances from Saya and Zeta, but those guys have been playing well, and you've got all the improvements coming out of Carpe and Munchkin. So I think it makes him a dangerous team currently.
I want to touch on that Munchkin point real quick because I feel like we've seen him before. He's not one of the ones on the team that haven't played international tournaments, but I feel like, Bren, this is the best we've ever seen Munchkin right now.
Yeah, and it's because he's been freed up, like what I was saying prior about the IGLing role. It takes a massive weight off your shoulders when you're not calling for the entirety of your team, and the stress of that goes away. You can focus a bit more on the anchoring, but he has had that massive uptick in terms of his performance, One
other interesting thing I think we should talk about with T1 is that they have not changed a single comp in the 9 weeks of Pacifics that they played. They stuck to 7 comps on 7 maps, and that's pretty much it. Do you think that's I mean, Fnatic also have done the same, but do you think that's a good thing for a team like this?
Well, for Fnatic, you give them the benefit of the doubt that they could cook up other stuff if they really wanted to. T1 is still a team in development, and I think a lot of the meta does revolve around being able to throw different things at your opponents. And the fact that they didn't, even when they made it as deep as to have like a BO5 playing against DRX, pushing them to the very limit. I mean, final map, if they'd thrown something different, maybe they could have got that across the line. But also, Zeta in the press conference was saying one of the biggest differences for their improvement over this period of time has been at the start, they didn't feel comfortable with the comps that they'd chosen. And now getting their roles defined, getting the comps defined, and getting more structure have been the important things. You don't get roles defined and you don't get structure embedded if you're just changing things willy-nilly all the time. Ask DRX. Ask DRX.
I mean, I've watched Angel play for 9 weeks.
Yeah,
so I get you.
know.
I get you. I get you. What do you think, Brent? Are you down with a no comp change?
No, I mean, I agree with it. I think a lot of the problems that surfaced from T1 early on came from them really tunnel visioning, I think, on the execute aspects. You know, they were really trying to hone all those big sight hits, and they were lacking the mid-rounding. They were lacking the really good adjustments with the calling as well. Players weren't comfortable with the roles. And now, once you solidify that, you can start to slowly, cross off on the list all the other improvements that you need to make, which they have been making over the course of this Masters. They look like a real heavy hitter, I think, heading into this event. I've said it multiple times, but this Masters event, this international event that we have right now currently in Tokyo, is one of the most hotly contested in terms of the level of play. Across the board, across all the teams as well. I think most teams can do some real damage.
Anyone can win it. Anyone. Now, I feel a bit left out when you guys did your bracketology. I want to do mine as well. So if we guys take a look at the bracket real quick, I'm going to give you a hot take. In fact, screw the other teams. I think no matter what happens, how it happens, EDG are making it out. I believe it. I fully believe it. I think they're going to win more than one game. They're going to get their first win. They're going to get a second win. And they might even get a third one.
Through the uppers?
I mean,
all the way?
If they get 3, then they would have to go through the lowers, right? So I think, no, that's a lie. They would have to still go through.
It's still 2.
Well, it doesn't matter how they get out of this group. They are getting out of this group.
That's a hot take. It's a hot take for a couple of reasons. One, because they'd have to beat NRG and Na'Vi, who've been historically good. They'd have to beat one of them at one point. And Na'Vi's not been looking amazing. But also this match against T1. If you go up to the uppers, then, I mean, okay. But when you go down to the bottom, then, you know, this match ends up being really important.
I mean, if we look at the roster now, let me try to convince you guys. Because if we compare this roster to the T1 roster, for the first time ever in an EDG matchup, they have more international experience on the global Valorant stage, Brent. For the first time ever. And I think that's going to play into their favor.
It's massive. I think the international experience, we can't offset how big of an advantage that is as well, because you learn how to perform on the big stage, all the little quirks as well of playing at these big international tournaments. You start to learn and have those moments as well from where you know, the shortcomings were last time, and you bring back that experience. Now, Edward Gaming have had, you know, ups and downs in their domestic regions as well, in their tournaments that they've been playing still, but they are looking like the best contender to get that first win for China on the big stage.
Yeah, absolutely. And last time, remember how close they were to beating 100 Thieves. Lock-it, right? It was OT towards the end. So this team has showcased an ability to push teams close before, but they've never been able to get over the line. And they've got more chances to do it here.
Yeah, I'm going to keep trying to convince you. I'm going to keep bringing stuff out, you know, more experience.
Still a hot take.
Stats as well. Stats don't lie, all right? Stats never lie, especially without context. The more we can have stats without context, the better.
Without context?
Oh yeah, screw that.
Better misinformation on the desk.
Exactly. I mean, wait, information on the desk?
Misinformation.
Never.
Misinformation.
Never.
Directed misinformation campaign that you're
Yeah, we never do that. But let's take a look at those stats, because not just Concom, but the team in general, they are up there with stuff. They're doing good. They look good. I mean, like I said, stats don't lie. And we don't see Concon stats here just yet. We're going to see that in a bit. But surely this is a good omen.
Right, okay. So I know your stats don't lie narrative is really powerful right now. But I'm going to apply some context to this. And I know that's
no context needed. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Dreaded word. They have been flattening people in China, right? The Chinese scene, it doesn't have the same level of experience. It doesn't have the same level of structure to it as the VCT circuit that's kind of running in the rest of the world. And it's offered Edward Gaming an opportunity to absolutely be head and shoulders above everybody else. It's not like they've done that by gathering up all the best talent and making opportunistic roster moves. They've experienced, they were winning before, and they've continued to win. They had like a small blip in time where FPX qualified ahead of them, and they dropped, you know, like Act 1, if you've been following the Chinese scene at all. Don't know whether you guys have. But they came out and they just dominated recently. They're clearly the best Chinese team, but it's Chinese Valorant. It's not global.
I'm really optimistic, but we do have the EDG players here as well. Let's see who is Golden Boy's best mate on this roster.
Coach, after, come over here real fast. There you go. And I got Iris here, conveniently enough. Come right here if you don't mind, buddy. Quick question, real fast. Who do you think is going to win Masters Tokyo?
觉得2023年东京大师赛的冠军会是谁？
肯定是我们。
Must be us.
That's the right attitude to have. Back to you guys. There you go.
I mean, it can't be both T1 and EDG, right?
It can't be either of them.
It's going to be one.
That's reasonable. Okay, EDG, before they even set off, we're talking about their expectations, their hopes for this tournament being that they win a match for China and that they make top 8. So I think Golden Boy's put After on the spot there a little bit, because they had discussed as a team their goal being making playoffs. And as you said, it's a hot take, but I think it is like a reasonable goal for them.
What do you think, Bren?
I would agree with that as well. I think that they've got a lot to showcase as well. I mean, one of the biggest strengths we talk about with Edward Gaming, I mean, you were alluding as well to the Kangkang stats, but it really is that individuality that just really bleeds through and in their play. Oh, yeah. Even when Kangkang's playing the Gecko at times as well, he's just unorthodox trying to play for the attacking op, but this is the best chance that they've ever had. Obviously, the improvements keep coming, the experience keeps coming, and yeah, I mean, this guy is an absolute menace when he gets an operator in his hands. The only thing is, sometimes they play comps where he's not quite suited to trying to play for the operator all the time and trying to force it.
I think the thing that impressed me the most, at least coming to this, is that everyone in the Pacifics that scrimmed them unanimously say that Kangkang is just definitively their best player.
Oh, he's a demon.
And also consistent as well.
Yeah, Kangkang's been a demon, and we saw it at Champions when they played. We saw it at Lock-In too. You remember when 100 Thieves were trying to defend B with 3 players and he just 1v3s them all? Like, he's got talent there. And it's not just him. They've got talent across the rest of the team too. Chichu was demonic in the clutch. They've got, you know, other people like Smoggy. I think Smoggy was actually the MVP when they were playing in China most recently. So they've got talent.
I mean, you can see Kangkang's stats are down here as well. He also has an insanely high just like number of first kills, or the conversion rate.
He's leading.
All that jazz. All the good kind of go in, do your job.
Yeah, and it's partly as well because, again, he's almost like just, you know, the big fish in a small pond of his domestic region where he is bullying teams, honestly, with his sheer mechanical skill.
But he's still like a small shark. He's not just a big fish like a big goldfish.
I mean, we should ask Mimi about this. She knows all about the... Oh, you guys won there.
Yeah, his play style is so unique, though. I had to pull clips for it as well. And we couldn't get the best perspectives. But he plays such a slow contacting style. He's playing an initiator. He's playing Gecko. You want to be active your utility. You want to be taking space. But he's always slowly contacting with an operator with a rifle, holding the space. And then once he gets a kill, he'll start using his util. It happens over and over again. And this is quite readable, I think. If you're going up against Edward Gaming, you're going to know how they're going to be playing because of this.
I mean, let's compare this to Carpe's Gecko as well as we... well, once this clip is done, Josh, talk me through what the differences are here.
One of the most interesting things is that both of these...
no util use!
Gecko on buy. But yeah, Kangkang, they play it the most opposite way possible because you have Kangkang defending on B with his Gecko without using too much utility. Attack like lurk, contact, opping. And when you take a look at how Carpe plays it, the most like classic round that T1 do with their Gecko is where they util dump. But here's him playing with a Cascade and a Dizzy. They take some hookah control, they go back, they exec down B long. Now I'm going to show you a different round here of their B long kind of play just to demonstrate what it looks like usually. But they throw the Trailblazer and the Wingman at the same time, so you can't break them both. And then he goes, he picks up his utility, and then he'll go explode into the site. You see how different this is, the way the Gecko is actually part of their map control play? Yeah, it's active, it's proactive. And then on the defense side, he's usually going to be defending towards A. So it's literally, you could not pick 2 Geckos on bind that play it the opposite way around.
Yeah, I mean, it's a complete diversion in terms of how they play it as well. And this is par for the course of some of these Chinese teams as well, because they do like to copy the comps over, and they have such a unique spin of how they want to play it overall as well. I also want to see bind. I want to see that clash of styles. I think that would be absolutely awesome.
I mean, I feel like bind will at least be floated when it comes to the maps they ban. And also, again, like T1, they ban split all the time. So if EDG are the ones that want to take them there, I really want to see it as well.
If anyone bans bind, they are a coward. I'm saying it now
so
before we
Potter,
get to max select.
You just called Potter.
Oh no, in this match.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in life.
No.
Well, I mean, anyway, we'll see if anyone is going to be a coward in Sideshow's books, because we do have Matt vetoes teed up right now. Let's send it down to our coaches and see which ramp we're going to and if we're going to see bind.
First of all, congratulations to both of you making it to Masters. So we'll start. EDG is the higher seed. So would you like to be Team A or Team B? So we will start with the first ban from T1. And EDG, your first ban?
Ban Ascent.
Ban Ascent. Map number 1 from T1.
Fracture.
Side on fracture.
Champion.
Attack. And then map number 2 from EDG. Haven. Side on Haven. Defense. Okay, we're going to go into the next set of bans. So we'll start with T1. You have Bind, Lotus, and Pearl. Lotus. Okay, so map number 3 will be Pearl. T1 side on Pearl.
T1.
Here as well. Do you guys think, though, that they could do it today? Can EDG finally get that win after seeing the map vetoes of Fracture, Haven, and Pearl?
Definitely. They've got T1 shook already. T1 got rid of Bind, shook, absolutely quivering.
They're the cowards in this match.
Yep. EDG are coming out. They've got the advantage in the map. No, it's going to be a really standard match, actually. Yeah. Both teams play very reasonable compositions on all three of the maps that are in the pool. And I think that's a big growth period for EDG. It's actually... You know, they come in with the Chinese meta the first couple of times that they've played, and now they've combined their style with what's globally accepted to be good, and they're coming out into a match like this, and it's just going to be them trying to beat T1 straight up.
When I was doing my preparation as well and watching Edward Gaming on Fracture, sometimes it felt like they were defining and deciding their strategies with a D20 dice. And it would roll it, and it would just be, sometimes they just weren't even applying to any sort of a conditioning that was against them. So they do have a deep playbook from what I've seen on this map. They have a lot of different looks at it, a lot of different takes at it, and I do wonder how prepped can T1 be for that as well, because there's a good chance as well, if the players aren't hitting on a given day for T1, they might just get ran over by that raw fire.
I have copium to the T coming into this. Hear me out.
Yep.
EDG, last time they played Fracture, they thrashed ASC, Attacking Soul. Yep. And Attacking Souls just nearly beat DRX on Fracture. They nearly did.
I mean,
they nearly did. It was 13-10 in the end.
It was close, but I think DRX
Therefore,
all right, yeah.
And then, you know...
Transitive property, yada, yada, et cetera.
Okay, let's talk about the Prime Gaming agents. So, what do you guys think here?
This is interesting. I mean, so Kang actually has been moving over to the Jet more recently. They've been putting him on the role where they've been making him play Raze in some circumstances, but I think this is, the move that they've been doing and applying most recently, and it makes so much more sense. I was molding out my mind when I'm seeing him up, and he has no escape mechanism. If he really wants to enable that playstyle, this is the way to do it, and it is a better look for Edward Gaming.
Yeah, and also T1, they just don't change their comp, right? They just don't want to do that. They are sticking with having just 7 comps on 7 maps.
I think in general, Edward Gaming composition is better. The question is how you actually use the utility, right? And also, when you have 2 initiators but only 1 duelist, it often requires Haodong or Chishu to be able to get aggressive to use the Sky util, because normally you're going to split those initiators up. So there are teams in North America, or in the Americas I should say, though they are North American teams, that use Edward Gaming's comp very, very well. For T1, you're basically looking at Ban, and Saya to go off. The individual ability is always going to be hot with T1, and this is a map that's going to showcase whether or not EDG can hold on.
No, I completely agree with that. I think the double duelist comp is going to be pretty dependent on it, and it's a standing comp for them. It's interesting that they put Ban on that role as well. I mean, the guy has just been, building up that flexibility over the course of the season, whether they have him on smokes or whatever. But yeah, it's all going to be defined, I think, on a lot of the duelist play.
Well, I can't wait to see what they're going to give us here on Fracture and jump into game with your casters for today. Finally, it's Pansy and Hypok.
Thank you, Sue, and the desk. Yeah, quite the affair in front of us between these two. EDG still chasing that first international win, looking for a bit of that. T1 starting to look better and better here in various ways, but I want your expectations, because I feel like the agents are like the veto, somewhat safe, so let's go expectations wider than that.
Yeah, I think veto out the window for the time being.
Yeah, we can come back to it.
For me, it's always about translating or transferring some of those domestic records from Chinese teams across the international stage. Yeah.
Let's go.
Advantage, but a benefit in playing versus a familiar playstyle, right? Against an opponent that maybe they feel a little more comfortable coming up against.
Awareness.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, well, plenty to digest throughout this one, and the proof is really in the pudding. Do we get a little fiery game out of EDG? Do we get a little bit of that kindling from what we saw before, but maybe across the line? Or is T1 just that little bit better developed? as everything starts to line up, and we dive straight into the matter. There's no real messing with this. A little bit of a pinch towards a 3-2 split, and the battle over towards A main is going to be really quite committed.
Yeah, Sire swinging all the way out on this. Spike is making his way off drop. The flank comes through. Ban actually finds nobody.
Okay, I was going to say the only exchange was for the site, but a little bit of a fight through there is going to help out. Give them a bit of security and instantly turn attention. Messiah player is just tearing them apart. It's down to 2. Smoy and Kankan, what are you meant to do with this? A frenzy, sure, but already going to reveal the position. Life up for Trade, tries to dip away. Still sitting pretty low on 22 HP. That pain shell could have been a problem. The fuse started, and that frenzy's just out of form in that sort of range. Great damage, though, but nothing more to be seen. Saya player so aggressive off the rip.
I mean, even there, a little bit of a panic there. Carpe comes off the defuse just as that 1 kill actually does come through for him, but a pacey hit here. T1, no secrets about the flank. I mean, no hesitation, I should say, to get that going. Almost conceding this up. They're happy to give up the plant, knowing or expecting the split to come through from drop. So really well navigated by T1 here in the pistol. Not really any investment on the other side of things. Chichu, just with a ghost. Actually 2 Bulldogs here and 3 Spectres, so a little bit of spread on the utility, but full shields across the board here.
And again, kind of checking in with T1 during their regular season, talking through some of their matches. This round shouldn't really amount to much. I'm looking at the likes of Van. I want to see him get confident early on. It was something the players discussed themselves. If he has a good start to things, if he starts feeling out that game, he's going to be up there. Again, when you've got someone like Sire player as well playing on that duelist, that's some potentially heavy hitters if Van gets activated. So I love to see him find that footing early on. But now, a little bit of contact, making no real subtleties about it, but they are working towards those orbs.
I was going to say, I was curious about the full shield purchase here from Kankang, but the fact that he had such a big start here in terms of the old progress source of Bladestorm, he throws the full shield in. He's only 1 away from the knives here.
He's really
and they're retrieving orbs, so there's a chance. He actually gets this online.
Looking at nobody, kind of almost.
Yeah, he's secured this area.
That's huge, and Van's gone down, so maybe that confidence gets muted for a moment. I'm waiting to see.
Munchkin has to police this weapon.
Yeah, this then kind of pulls another player away, but okay, so
this is huge, Lauren.
This is actually quite nicely constructed. They had that theory from the start. And they've got 35 seconds, to make something of it. Sitting super deep, they're going to hear this. Now, they've got to be aware of what's coming their way. T1 has to know there's problems. Side player tucked in towards main. He's to be sitting deep on this one. I don't think he can particularly swing unless there's some nice utility work. And Kankan's on the hunt here. He wants a little bit of blood to be drawn. Barely gets across the line. Down to 6 HP. This has to be incredible. And it is! Nobody at the same time. Just found Side player. And suddenly it's just Munchkin in a 1v4.
In the blink of an eye. Again, that full shield purchase paying dividends here. Munchkin has 60 HP and a Bulldog. What can he get done?
I don't think much.
Oh my God!
Absolutely nothing. Perfect planning from start to finish. They had a goal in mind, and my God, they got it.
I mean, I was looking at it, I was thinking, yes, only a classic coming in. He's going to go away for the ghost to drop. But there's no aggression, no proactivity on the side of T1 to deny these orbs. So, again, whether or not the awareness is even there, that EDG would try and pull this off.
Any cheaper.
And it's huge for EDG to come back in here.
Talk about a tilter, though, for T1. That's
absolutely
frustrating. That's going to make him feel a little bit silly in that.
Left the back door open for Kankang to steal that round away.
On in, absolutely striding on through. Now, Bai sitting nice and comfortable with EDG. Great start as well. Going to continue that momentum on. Putting right back in, looking for that ult again. Spots another player. Do they try and close down on it? No, the support system's there, but Kankan and nobody. Light work. No work coming through from the other side. T1 can't get that timing right. No synergy off the swing. So for now, EDG just taking their time. But again, Kankan is just building that ult back up. This boy is on a mission. Finally put down. With a quick trade, now be T1 falling. EDG connecting around together. So, as it stands, this is a very good start for EDG.
Kankang's 3 off the knives again. That's outrageous. Again, he will be the tip of the spear. Certainly for the next round, you'd imagine as well. And with the judge, maybe a pacey hit towards B here, try and close the gap a little bit. I'm seeing him on the south side of the map, so no chance for him to get up in towards tower, but maybe even just throw himself on site here.
Okay, so it'd be Munchkin and Ban to be the ones really put to task.
Is this Red Guard line up?
Looks a little Red Guard.
Yeah, it goes all the way into tower here.
It is. So that does put Munchkin in a little bit more of an uncomfortable spot, forcing him forward or back. He goes for the challenge. This time it's banned. He's can comfortably, and Munchkin pushes forward. A little brazen on that. Goes down to his own utility. But they do keep the numbers. 4 still standing to the 3 of EDG. But the site now looking a little bit more comfortable, maybe considering that plant could be coming through in a second.
Ban conceding a little bit of space as well. See if EDG can get anything done here. Almost a role reversal if you look at the minimap.
Yeah.
I think that's why Ban is playing this so deep.
Flash didn't find anything. Second, that's good. His turn, the Ban is ready, but he's just not on the case today. And they find success elsewhere as well. Zeta just went down too. So back down to a 2v2, but look at the HP on Nobody. Down so low here, but enough freedom to be able to at least forge their way towards that plant.
If they can get a comfortable post-plant position here, T1 all the way back through towards Halls. Chance here actually for Chi-Chi to find a position, but I think a little bit of paranoia is setting in here. Turret goes down, he's going to play off contact.
Side player's got so much to work with as well. Paint shell, boom
Showstopper as well.
Showstopper if needed. Still got the molly from Carpe. They know where they're somewhat coming from. At least one of the players now confirmed. Smoke goes in, spots out the paint shell. That should be both players now. Chi-Chi hoping. Nobody's got a nice cross on this without smoke. It actually allows a really good angle, but he couldn't land it. T1 get themselves back in the picture here, turning it back around.
Damage done. They don't draw out the Showstopper though. That would have been a crucial ultimate to take away from T1. Even early with that flip. I mean, look at EDG's financial position. I said Kang should now be 2 away. Yeah, 2 away from the Blade Storm once again. Yeah, an explosive start here to Fracture.
Oh, the tempo is off the charts, it feels like. Very, very brawly from the beginning. I kind of expected a little bit more composure.
I'll be honest, in terms of expectations, you do expect that composure to come from T1.
Yes.
And EDG to be the ones to try and really challenge that, disrupt the tempo a little bit.
B-stack. That's leaving Munchkin on an island. Yes, he's got his kit put down into place on towards the side, but need a bit of value from this hearing this utility as well. I wonder what the plan is. When do they pull the trigger to try and hit that rotation?
We get both Nano Swarms down to deny. See the default plant and the open plant for main. And Munchkin turret will confirm presence here. Now, Chi-Chi's here to pick up the flank coming through, but Ban equalizes.
Yeah, that could have gone way worse, it felt like. Chi-Chi could have been such a deadly problem. For now, though, having to work their way through that utility has at least hindered some progress towards the plant, but they get back to it. About the minute marker now. Should be planted.
Planted.
EDG gets set up now. Let's look at the play back in on this. Still have that dish control. Thanks to Munchkin. And now they're built back in. Kang just straight. He takes the fight even further. Carpe's taking him out of the equation. Munchkin has to fall a little bit further forward here. Try and be a little bit more involved in this one. Taking the first couple of steps. And just beheads the player on the site. Now 2v2. How do they get the other 2 players out of this? The smoke is going to dissipate and they got ults to play with.
The Rolling Thunder comes through, going to slow things down, but they still have the molly to maybe stop a push coming back through the smoke. Yeah, they have to land this spam.
It ain't landed just yet.
Just yet.
It's halfway, switching it up. I love that little adjustment on the half. The defuse comes through just in time.
I mean, Zeta's very lucky here. Like I said, Carpe's molly can stop any push coming back through that smoke. They had to find that first kill with the spam. And unfortunately, it doesn't come through. I think even Zeta repositioning on that stick of the diffuse as well, yeah.
Most of the positions they've already cleared.
Exactly, yeah. Tucked back into that left corner.
Super nasty way to play it, but it works.
Heads up play. And the timing here to come through, again, catching them on the reload. Beautiful stuff. Corner. Heads up. Going to protect this financial cushion even more. And we know what he got done last time.
Side player's got support. That flash is actually a little behind him. He can avoid the stun. So Side player playing with the finest margins here. This is a very, very precarious game. There's a whole team behind that smoke.
Showstopper and Orbital Strike, but they're pushed up deep.
How are you going to get this into effect? That smoke is all that's separating them from Carpe. Takes out Kang. That's the tip of the spear now. Blunted unleashes the rocket in the pocket towards Nobody. And now just down to 3. And they've pushed further. What? A little unnecessary to my eye, and now punished back to a winnable scenario.
Chi-Chi's found nothing on the other side, though. Utility's still here, in place from Munchkin. And that's going to actually feed some information across to EDG. A little bit of a gap between. Ban's got a lot of ground to cover here to catch up, but expect Munchkin to just try and slow things down. Don't want to see him overcommit here. For a second, he's using a long time to clear this.
Certainly has. You can see the pace being picked up by Ban just a touch now. Munchkin maybe want to get that timing right on the audio. Hearing those steps, can he creep a little closer? Munchkin steps away. He's seen both, and he knows the other's on the side with him. Can he close down the gap towards Foggy? Looks to the left and catches him. Munchkin holding the site in the end.
That's a bold push back onto site there. Like I said, the gap between him and Ban, no chance.
No trades there, yeah.
Through.
Wow.
But luckily isolates. Again, that half second where it takes him to find the first. You get a little bit worried.
But speaking of worried, this start almost over pushing here.
I mean, T1 come out, they get into a 2v2 after that. So it's, yes, it seems a little overzealous, but EDG, I think maybe if they come out of that a little cleaner. See as well that paranoia to actually finally push onto B site, just setting in for EDG. Maybe on the back of the utility still being there. They're expecting a counter swing or two people to swing off that utility. Yeah, fiery start here to Fracture.
Yeah, no one's...
T1 actually still looking as if they want to take this early round space away from EDG when they are playing so aggressively. It is actually something that EDG now have to respect. Well, they don't have freedom in the early round.
No, they certainly don't. I mean, you're looking at the likes of kind of Sire player pushing up, being aggressive. He had support there as well, willing to challenge, especially over towards kind of A-Hall. I don't think we've seen that aggression throughout the map just yet, taking as much space away, but again, it's fine to throw it in towards one side. I'm more happy with that.
I guess in different facets we have, it's been a little more tempered towards B, obviously with the initial stack with Munchkin's utility littered across A site. There was no progress made, but they were ready to take a ball. They were ready to at least receive a ball on that B site.
But they were on the site by that point. I'm talking about progress. I'd love to see them try and explore that option maybe throughout this map if they feel they can. But again, there's going to be that breaking point, right? You can't keep doing this, though. Surely, at some point, after this timeout, for example, EDG will have an answer. Right?
Well, I mean, it's whether or not T1 continue to set plays up like this. That's the question that sits for me. If T1 can keep winning these engagements, then in my eyes, EDG have to slow things down. Maybe that's something coming out of this timeout we will see. Again, not really looking towards an execute heavy. It's all reliant on opening duels and finding openings on the back of kills, not necessarily map control.
But I like this. Already seeing Ban taking steps over towards Arcade, getting a little deeper towards this. Yes, to be fair, Jichu, his positioning in the round just prior or the one before that was pretty deadly. Almost did bigger work. Seekers do go in, but the smoke's still in play. Stun is going to connect, and there's the orbital strike. But again, how much do they get off the back of this? That's not bad. Zeta's gone down. Left kind of in no man's land, and now there's problems towards the side. But look at this quick progress from Ban. His push through was everything, but do they continue on this path? They have full control on the other side of the map. Look at Chichu's positioning here.
Munchkin's lockdown, it doesn't really secure much towards site. Give EG a little bit of space to play with towards halls as well. Chichu, I don't think he's read Munchkin's reposition back here. He's not caught to its spawn.
Arpe caught on the cross.
He has read it.
Okay. Chichu does so well in this regard, but Ban does get there back in time. He started to drift back away from that dish position, gets back towards the side, looks for the follow-up. Smoggy's there. It's looking a little rough around the edges, but he's got it. Trade comes in. Nobody's back in the game, and now 1v3. This is a lot to ask, and look at where he's at. A mile away and still being hounded down.
Kang still in place here. We'll remove the operator. Sire.
Ain't happy with that.
Yeah, letting them know. Haldong, though, maybe looking to try and retrieve this operator back.
Does Sire even expect this? That's the timing on this would be filthy. Just drifting away.
Slip through, though, yeah.
I wonder if these players are ready to start toying with the crowd just yet. Sire player now going to pull the trigger. And oh, come on! How did he adjust? I hope we got that replay, Mike.
That was a ridiculous snap to find the second. Or the third, I should say.
Yeah.
Breaks.
Yeah, EDG desperate to retrieve that operator, but Sire shutting it down.
Because the timing on...
He actually saw the rifle come ahead.
Yeah.
Or maybe Haldong just not reading the reposition back towards stairs.
Okay, so they keep open operator, but that's about all they got, right? Like, there's not much else behind that.
No. Some stingers here. The Rolling Thunder to throw into this and the orbital strike. T1 see the opportunity. Ban going exploring. Solo mission here. Howdong looking to hold down the fort as well.
Haven't been tested from the side yet, so I want to see how long he holds towards this. And they're coming back around. Timing's everything. Oh, they definitely knowed him. Ban gets away with his life. He's going back in. This man's mad. No, okay. Decides against it. But he's revealed a great deal of the intention from EDG.
Would have heard the stim beacon as well, so going to note that reposition of Howdong. T1 should have all the information they need to work off here. Saya couldn't land a headshot there, but
Munchkin! Wow! How has Munchkin connected 3 headshots back to back and he wants a bit more? Saya player's going to take out Chichu, so it's all down to 1. Howdong in a 1v5. Spots 1, sees plenty more, but he ain't getting nothing from it. Munchkin! Where did you find those?
That is outrageous. We're saying just the operator coming into that, but it's the sheriff that makes the difference.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, that ain't bad. Yeah, that ain't bad at all.
And this is exactly the sort of round we were just talking about a moment ago. If T1 keep winning these sorts of fights, where's the new look to EDG? Where's that second layer in the playbook?
There's so many other things that T1 are starting to do as well. We've started to see that exploration by Dish coming out from Ban. We saw over towards Arcade. They're still throwing new things in, coupled with the likes of Side Player still by A main. There's so many problems that EDG are yet to fully address. Yes, they converted one semi recently, but beyond that, they don't have that overall conclusion to come up with yet. And now with the money where it's at, this becomes, it feels near on impossible. And instantly, I like what T1 are doing, sitting super deep. They don't need to take these challenges. They don't want to risk those rifles being dropped. They don't need to take any of that. They should be able to flourish like this. If everyone just lazily swings the corner, yeah, light work for Zeta does eventually fall. Good trade, nice positioning. Saya, just aim training on this. Can the last one alive. I mean, he's been a bit of a monster, but this would be a lot.
26 HP to work with. A lot of ground to cover to retrieve one of those rifles. Carpe tucked up here. Yeah, we'll find it.
Nasty,
cuts it down. Love the commitment here. You've seen it from the POV of potentially an overcommitment to that opening duel, but that high-low setup on the site here is unable really for EDG to find anything coming out of halls. All the way from the blade storm again, still with that lockdown available for EDG. They're really looking towards now building and execute around that. Actually coming close to having a lot of ultimates online.
Yeah.
T1 do have 3 of their own. Zeta still sitting on that Rolling Thunder as well.
Are they going back into the slaughterhouse here, though? Side player, he's got his ult there to play with if he needs it. He's got full support. Actually going to be forced off from this. Counter going to come in. So once again, unable to springboard anywhere. Counter flash, ult gets popped, so he gets held to the door, but he's held them back too.
Really nice way to mitigate that showstopper coming through from Saya. Now EDG have an opportunity to reset.
But I like the way he's going for facts behind this as well. Chichu is still here, that's one issue. Does he clear? Oh, the timing, just as he looked away. A little bit of a spray there for Saya, but it works out well in the end, and they cleared the back lines. Ban now. Ooh, the timing was just right to check, gets away with his life. Munchkin could be up to some naughtiness here. Does get pushed out of the smoke though, and overwhelmed on the side. Hold on, EDG have made something out of this.
Themselves into a 4v3 position. Advantage for them, operating now in hands of Kankang as well.
Carpe going down should unlock full sight, really. Unless Saya can find some of the paint shot. No one in the smoke. It was a bit of a shot in the dark.
26 HP as well.
30 seconds
Yeah, so low, and nobody's position is rotten to try and get past. Unless Zeta can do something, get one of these players away from this crossfire. Saya player, okay, a shot like that will help. Not going to get the follow-up. Kankang's there. Zeta investing a lot for very little.
I say the timing maybe on Saya falling there. They wanted to springboard off that first kill that actually Saya with 26 HP gets away with cleanly. Yeah, definite miss there in terms of the investment of the Rolling Thunder. Had been sat there for a while. Munchkin, like you said, just pops out the top of the smoke. You see as he switches to the shorty as well to try and find a kill as someone drifts inside. 2 rounds separating these two teams here, and gaps, I guess, starting to show in terms of T1's economy. towards the end of this at least. In that regard, EDG an advantage with this ult cycle. A little pacey behind the Trailblazer here.
Small adjustment too. Ban and Sire kind of switching it up, operator in Ban's hand, so he's clearing as he goes. But they've cleared a fair amount and seen no pressure towards A, so they have been able to take this down. You wanted to see something like this, and it's in play.
Munchkin need a smoke to get off site here. Actually, late investment of the orbital strike. Maybe to try and catch EDG off guard. Setup will slow things down though.
Okay, Munchkin, do you get away? Actually does. Only down to half HP as well, keeping his life with all of these problems. Kankan just around that corner, unleashing a couple of knives, getting a couple of tags, but no frags to follow. It's nobody swinging in towards the side, taking down T1, leaving Sire and Ban, the other two who are on the other side of the map initially, to try and clear back in towards this. Already being considered though, Kankan's not going to let Sire Player get away. And Ban, this would need a lot, and he ain't going to get much more.
On the edge of seeing two very different scores in this half, but it looks like EDG might just tie things up. I don't think they can get 4 rifles across the board for T1. Yeah, Bulldog coming through. Ban obviously has the Blade Storm, so he's the one to drop one across. Maybe a stinger for him, but EDG. And looking so explosive in some of these engagements. And earlier on in the half, it was T1 winning out in some of those.
Yeah, I think explosive is such a key way to phrase it, because it is just kind of that doubling down on this confidence out of nowhere, even though when they were trailing, which is very surprising. But now, though, Ban going to have the knives. You can see those gaps in the economy very, very clearly here. That turret not ideal. As once again, Chichu just really trying to keep control. There is pressure from the other side. He is in trouble from that. Carpe, Sire Player on the way. And actually, manhandle Sire Player. Wanted the follow-up, doesn't quite get it. Ban with the trade, but look at where the other team are. They're already on the site. They've got it completely scot-free.
Actually, Kankang might even catch this rotate back through halls.
I like this. A little proactive, but still diligent. Very diligent from the other side too, but they've allowed the plant to come in.
How long does have the molly, so you probably want to retake some comfortable space here in halls. Have to dig a player out though. Carpe going to try and deny that. Actually, Molly invested here. Just to try and retain this control next to the box.
Okay, first kill comes in. This time Kankan goes down, and now Ban going to try and drift over. Smoggy finds Zeta. A knife in the smoke. Oh, it's so messy. Ban just gets deleted, and now down to Munchkin. Stunned up, forced out. He's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He's dead and gone. It's tied up all even here, Mike. This suddenly became a game.
What a crazy last round as well. Catching Smoggy with the Rolling Thunder prepped in hand, but T1 able to take that space back away. Like I said, yeah, the confidence flowed throughout this half at EDG, even when I felt like they were getting slapped in rounds that they were trying to be decisive in.
Yeah, to be able to rekindle that, to keep going back to it, feels almost wild to me, almost madness, but it's worked out well enough to get them back to a 6-6. An incredibly explosive first half. I wonder what the Death makes of that.
Well, EDG, they're having a lot of fun in the server, but they were having a lot of fun out the server as well. Take a look at this.
I 不是一个二次元。
我觉得我自己不是二次元，因为我不太看这种东西。
我觉得我不是二次元嘛，因为我平时看动漫很少。
我觉得我不是就是不是。
是张昭 Smoggy， 因为平时一放假，一看到他在训练室，他就从那坐着在看动漫。
Margo 吧，我觉得我看他经常挺喜欢看这个的，我觉得他应该是个二次元，因为我看这种东西我都是以他们那个头像来分辨的。
最明显的应该是康康吧，他平常会看一些恋爱动漫。
我觉得我们队伍里目前还没有吧，康康现在是只满足了一点，经常会看动漫，但他还没有到买手办和去看漫展的那种程度，他一只脚已经踏进去了。
我是一个二次元，因为我有时候特中二，然后特别喜欢看番。我也真的是宁年亚美老舅舅，活老迪奥的，就是 VALORANT， 就是我也想拥有那个能力。
Kankan's got the anime buff.
That is so
He's got
funny.
it.
That's what I'm telling you, man. Listen, watching anime, that is the key to Kankan's success.
Yeah, when he's ripping out the JoJo lines, Kono Dioda. I mean, bro, I don't even know how to react. The man is powered up. He's firing off.
Talking about how he can be quite chuny sometimes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I had to Google that to figure out what it meant.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Like being like an edgy middle schooler, basically, right? I think is the idea.
Oh, wow.
They're tearing it up in the server there. The comeback from EDG was electric, and a lot of it was based on Kankan's performance.
Yeah, I mean, this could be the first game they win. I believe in them. Let's see, though, Pansy and Hypog, if they can actually close this map out.
Well, isn't that the question? Can they actually close? Because it feels that this tempo, this pacing, Mike, is it sustainable for both sides to an extent?
I feel as if I feel a little more confident about T1 in the second half, just due to some, I guess, some gaps in using this composition that EDG had. With a double duelist, again, Zeta's having a quiet game, but at least on the defense, you're seeing that utility put in play to set up some of these rounds for T1. So that's what I got my eye on here, and actually what EDG can do to really absorb that and mitigate some of the value that potentially T1 can find.
Let's see how it begins. 6-6. Whoever picks up that pistol, it feels such a big victory working forward. Okay. Wow. That was a sheriff on one side gone. Ban, not in this round.
Again, it's almost an information probe sent out. Munchkin might even have a surprise here. You look at the minimap, it's talking about the lack of synergy with some of this utility from Smoggy, but there's a fault line set up here for the turret that's on top of the box. Munchkin, he hard clears him.
Okay, and now Smoggy's got to hold on to this pretty much by himself. He can only do so much. T1 have the site. The hard clear is obscene, by the way.
That's outrageous.
just to know, obscene. But it's still not truly secure yet. The plant didn't come in anyway, and look, at Kankan getting closer and closer. He can smell the blood in the water. Carpe's there. Zeta almost getting caught on that cross. He's doing the dance, barely standing. Okay, Munchkin's just nuts right now. Zeta takes a swing off the back of that contact on Munchkin, but the hero of this round is Munchkin in my eyes.
Absolutely. The setup was almost perfect there to catch some sort of swing back towards A site, but I'm not sure if it was just a wide swing and the turret didn't catch it until very late, but in that case, Chichu should be tucked up close to the left wall, not deep drop. Really, really bizarre. Alex said that was one of the things that potentially coming out of the first half, you want to see those sorts of setups. Find a kill or two here and there and lessen the numbers of T1. Kankan, we can get aggressive. He absolutely will find one.
This guy is out of this world the way he plays. And he got them that first pick last time around. Ban is living in the shadow of Kankan right now. Hard to break free. This weapon shouldn't seem so scary, but suddenly...
In those hands.
Yeah, and he's just apparently wild at these rounds, right? Remember before he got that ult so early on, able to turn what was the tide at the time. Now, on the other side of the map, though, away from Kankan, you're looking at the others, right? Who are kind of slowly but surely holding towards A main, trying to work towards it. This is very indicative, obviously, of that B takes. This once again puts Kankan right in the limelight, does get a tag, but no frag. Has to fall away, keeps his life, though. They haven't used so much to clear this one player. It is ridiculous. Plant going to come in. They are being kept on their toes now.
Down to 74, but still, numbers advantage for EDG on the way back through.
How do they break these crossfires? Carpe's position, tricky, but could be overwhelmed, but then the swings. Flash comes in, Kankan going to take the first couple of steps, spots the player. Oh, he's got him! Carpe's gone down, they know the other. They know where Zeta is. Can they try and maybe isolate him? No! Sion player holds it back, does the best he can. With very little HP, Sion player!
HP.
Heroics from him, called upon because Kankan made something out of nothing.
Terrifyingly close for T1. They bring just the Bulldog out of that. A clean opening, even here the Spectre. A lot of time had passed, but it's for EDG to really find a comfortable position to stack up. Sai has done so well to isolate two separate engagements when two players of EDG are actually huddled together on that push back from Tree.
And that was just, what, one Marshall? One Marshall in Classics.
Last time it was... yeah, just
armor.
Just a full shield coming in.
There it is. Now, little scary times for T1. They don't get that comfortable purchase by any means. Two Bulldogs, yes, the rifles otherwise. On the other side, a nice buy coming out. Pace from T1, making no subtle moves about this. And the timing on Ban's approach is questionable. Kankan standing, but overwhelmed. Nobody still has his back, though. Ban on the trade. Spike is left loose, but the support's on the way. Smoke's still in place.
Yeah, Spike's in an awkward position, though.
One more smoke.
Have to, make use of this with the Cloud Burst, and will retrieve it. But it's a very safe plant. Munchkin has to find this kill, and he will do. Chi-Chi will fall. Again, it gives the numbers advantage across the T1 here.
Does Ban get out with his life?
Smoggy didn't swing off that fault line.
That feels... Ban's got a second chance at life here, and he makes the most of it this time. 3 kills this round. None of it clean, it feels like, but it's all worthwhile. That smoke making difficult work here to work through. T1 then trying to slip back a little deeper, make that cross near on impossible. Yeah, I think he knows he's not really going to have much out of this. Maybe take down Ban. Blake.
Threads the needle on that one. And the time has elapsed here. Munchkin try and catch him on the way out, and will do. Big round from him, shutting down Chi-Chu very early on in that flank.
Yeah.
You usually see people reset towards that, especially in a solo position. Munchkin, I should say, in a solo. Disconnected away from this, but Ban didn't take a single tick of damage on that execute onto the side, and that's crucial. Like I said, Smoggy didn't catch him on the fault line, tries to then find him with the aftershock, but allows him to reposition back into corner of sight and gives T1 a little bit of freedom to set up some crossfires.
Feels near on unforgivable to give him that chance. And he made the most of that second lease of life, obviously, able to kind of control that round. Yes, Munchkin did provide something also very pivotal, but highlight-wise, I guess on the board-wise, it was great from Ban. Now, timeout coming in for T1 here.
Maybe just take a breather, honestly.
Yes,
yeah.
It's been a high-tempo game.
If there's something that's been identified, I guess, from Autumn, they want to address coming into next, but EDG, maybe this is just careful if Kang buys a full shield, because he's one off the Blade Storm.
Yes. And again, looking at kind of T1 discussing their regular season, it was mostly about trying to, I guess, acclimate these new players into the roster as well. So these timeouts could be critical to it. Keep them in tow, make sure they don't get too ahead of themselves here. Yes, they've had that great beginning, but EDG are scary to look at. They actually terrify me because they make rounds out of nothing. So I do want to keep eyes on Kankan in this round to see what he can achieve, especially after that first half performance and a similar scenario like this. But Sheriffs are joining it, so it won't be completely alone here.
A heavy stack, actually nothing out towards Dish here from T1. It's feeling all in off the rip. Stim going down, and yeah, it's explosive here. I'll take all this space away.
So the second one go. That's Kankan. How much can one man do? Can they tee him up? Can those Sheriffs be enough to do some damage, maybe? He gets a little closer. The plant's going to come in, so time will be on T1's side.
You almost wanted that aggression to come through now, though. Yes, the smoke was down, but T1 reset into a little more of a comfortable position, and Carpe will catch Kankan before he can get anything done.
And now it falls on the rest of EDG to try and retake towards the A site. Difficult. Chi-Chu again spotted in this position. Zeta's going to connect towards nobody. No success for Chi-Chu this time either. Starting to struggle in that regard, but this round a little unfairly fought. There's Howdong and Smoggy trying to catch any pixel out of place. Any shot to land, and Ban is having none of it. He wants it all. He's going to do so much here. That's what I'm saying with Ban. I want to see this guy confident.
Yeah, I think EDG here just... They missed that window of opportunity to pull off one of those explosive rounds that we saw in the first half, and maybe the scoreline started to play a factor there. Early on in the first half, we saw them build up a big cushion. They feel a little more confident about maybe throwing a rifle or two away and getting a little more aggressive. We're not seeing that same approach here on the defense. And likewise, T1, in terms of diligence, in terms of coverage, there's no stone left unturned here on some of these approaches to sites. And it reflects here, 4 rounds unanswered. EDG will be back on the purchase here. Operator in hand for Kankan. Only got the Seekers in the hands of nobody.
You're right. I think that tempo change, that confidence dip from EDG is looking more and more apparent. Hard to keep that tempo where it was.
Off your feet!
And now Chi-Chu. Gonna hear all of this. He's got support from nobody, but it's Chi-Chu to connect. Side player goes down. Actually gonna fall just around the corner. Ban called in as well, but nobody's not doing a whole lot of damage here. That's a problem. Ban snaps to attention, and the trade's coming in. This is just madness. EDG, we said that they weren't being as explosive. Now we've seen it again.
Well, actually, this is EDG getting ahead of T1 setting up. They're actually looking to deny some of these comfortable positions to invest utility. Beautifully done. I don't know if this is something that T1 have read into, that felt like they had a little bit of space towards Arcade, but it's absolutely ripped away by EDG here. Again, 0 value off the Rolling Thunder on the way in.
What does T1 do, though? Do they feel as though they've been handled enough? This is going to be Can with a whole army of players on the other side of this smoke. Munchkin very close to that ult. Now has it ready to go. This could prove problematic.
Got a lockdown and an Odin.
Disgraceful.
Got to be something set up for this, surely.
There's nothing to counter this. Yeah, time to back away.
Have to respect this.
Yep. Just about making it out in time. They're trying to get back to business as fast as possible, but Blunt's going to be coming in, so T1 get what they want from this. Site control. Now, is there a lineup? Is there something that Munchkin's been working on here? Because that Odin's got me questioning things.
The 2 nanos down.
Yep.
Carpe does have the molly as well. It's only really Ban that looks like he's going to contest it. Yeah, Sire player as well. Over towards Arcade, though.
Ban, he's stunned up here. This is actually getting a little bit worrying. EDG, wait, where's the call? Smoggy walks in completely unawares of the position. The trade does come in, but by now there's problems. This can get so scary. Carpe does good damage towards Aldon, takes him down! Back to back! But nobody, not going to fall just yet.
Orbital strike, though. He can still
right.
stall this.
The time is everything. Nobody has to try and find the fight right now, and Carpe doesn't allow it to happen. Keeps the ult and walks away with the round.
The perfect way to play and execute off the lockdown, clear it all out, get comfortable post-plant positions. Even there, if Ban's isolated, sure, there's a chance EDG can catch the benefit of timing, but Ban still gets one.
I don't know how he did.
Up, forced into that right corner on tower. Then Carpe, 3 kills in the blink of an eye. Flipped this right back in T1's favor.
It's massive. Takes the wind out of EDG's sails pretty much here. Now you're looking at the scrappy purchase. It's again on Can.
Oh, he still gets it!
Ban this time will suffer as the casualty. Sire player wants that trade, but he ain't sticking around. Well, actually, Can did have a second look, a little bit of a glance back towards it. And he's postured up on this, but the pack of hunting players behind him, they're slowly clearing out from Arcade. There is a time limit on this. If Can can stay alive, if he can keep them locked towards this, there's going to be trouble afoot.
So
but
much.
He has to back away.
Yeah,
they have to respect this player. He has been a nuisance, but EDG...
Sire's read it.
No way. No shot. Wait, Sire's looking this way?
Yeah.
He's looking this way so early, and he doesn't get stunned either. There's just too many people to handle. EDG starting to do some damage. Recoverable weapons as well. This puts all the pressure on towards Munchkin, and he's dead. Even Carpe. That was almost through the door. That was ridiculous. Carpe, especially with the Seekers. His position's been noted. I doubt he's going to be able to do much about this. Not at all. EDG. Just leave Can on one side, send the other 4 out hunting, and you get around for yourself.
Solo anchor with the operators as well. I believe just the Guardian brought in alongside that. Will deny T1 from finding the 12. And there's a moment here where Sire's ahead of the stun.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's scrappy for the first spray. And even then, the spacing isn't great from EDG. There's a chance Sire actually shuts down the first 2 or 3 potentially on that 4-man flank coming through on the north side.
They've broken the money right back, so 1 rifle for Ban, a couple of ults to be played with though, so certainly not without a little bit of danger to it, but sitting firmly in the hands of EDG. This time it's Chichu on towards the site. Haldong towards CT. And it's Pacey. Yeah, just trying to close the gap as fast as they can. Chichu in a little bit of trouble here. Once that molly dissipates, he's in no man's land. Tries to take one with him, turns in time, gets another. Ban's gone, that was the rifle. Now removed, and EDG making light work of T1 here. Comfortable work from Haldong.
Brings it within 2. Finding 9.
No more doubts. Ready.
Some ultimates starting to stack up now for T1 though. 1 off the Rolling Thunder, Orbital Strike, Blade Storm, and the Showstopper in play. But Chichu going huge here.
Enemy down.
shut this down.
And just taking Ban away, who had that one rifle to me. That's the important part. He
as well, yeah.
How did he 180 Alex? That Morley was just coming, dissipating, just about to kind of run out of its effective amount, but very impressive. Knives for Ban this time, so can circle around the buy. Operator in play for Kankan, though, forced away by the early flash, and actually, there's a player hunting you down, but Kankan, oh, it doesn't quite connect this time. It's madness. He's actually got it. Ban, the one to find it. And now it's all getting messy here. Side player goes down, but from the grave will take it back through. This is ridiculous. A 4v3, and you're right, they're kind of going back in, trying to find that timing. Plant yet to go down. Nobody on the site. Still with flash to play. Takes down the player with a spike. Good trade as well from Smoggy. Great positioning. Knocks one towards tower, but his Chichu's got his side. And now all on Ban. The 1v1. Oh, he almost got it back. He almost got the operator out with Smoggy. Just handling it.
EDG have bodies here so quickly because Kankan feels the pressure. Ban finds it with a shorty. Rolling Thunder sent towards site. And EDG swarm with this pre-take. That's beautifully done. There's a chance there.
There was a second.
Yeah.
There was a second. I got so nervous.
And desperate to try and find the reset to scope back in. Well,
gosh, just a sign. Don't know about it. 11 to 10. Almost back in the game here. EDG.
Broken by again, though.
Yeah. What do we have this time? Couple of Guardians. Oh, yeah, not pretty. Ban at least has the rifle, but that's about it.
And meanwhile, EDG have built up a cushion. So they can play these a little more scrappy now as well.
T1, okay. Quite clean in intention. Leaning towards that A site.
So they clear him.
Smoggy, ooh, a little slow on that one. Munchkin gonna get the upgrade and get away with his life. Huge. Should be closed down on now.
It should be perfect.
And the odds there as well for Howdong. This now is a lot of utility to be able to combo together.
Almost right, maybe gonna get posted behind here. Yeah, towards Paul, so it doesn't come up. Messiah's found one, he's found two.
Getting two there it feels almost unreal. Unbelievable. Nobody in Kankan. What are you meant to do with this one? Quickly towards the side though. Kankan's there. Flash ready. Gonna post the ult.
They have so much to stall though. Molly and Orbital Strike still for T1.
They're gonna have to get through him somehow then. No one's peeking. No one's giving them anything. Just Ban trying to take a little bit of a fight here with a double swing. Sire Heroics again. How is he pulling that off? The 2 kills he gets are everything.
Beautifully done, and this is the intention all along. EDG want to isolate somebody behind the lockdown and ahead of the orbital strike, but Sire digs his heels in with that Guardian. The Munchkin gets this, but again, it pulls Howdong, it pulls Kankan. They have to deal with Munchkin. Scrappy on the second, yes, but regardless, Howdong falls, and Sire still cleans up. T1 on 12 now.
But breaking the trend, it was 3 back-to-back, and you noted it, they had money, EDG. Enough for a buy this round, and it looks like T1 once again back to their pacey ways. Carpe does have the ult, and Ban's already on in. He's really come alive in this half. Does Chichu manage to survive this fight? Yes, with Howdong by his side, they take down Munchkin, so they secure some safety. The plant's going over towards the site, though. That should be down pretty soon.
Taking a while, though. Kankang's still over towards A site, conscious of a lurk coming through. Orbital Strike will force somebody forwards. Carpe will find nobody, but Smoggy shuts down Sire.
It's a 3v4. Ban, Zeta, and Carpe. If they can close it out now, they will. And then, oh dear, Kankan still standing, just a little bit of a dip away, and then for the second time of asking, he gets it. Ban's gone. It's Carpe and Zeta now. Zeta does well, and so does Carpe. And now just down to 1. Howdong, how much more can you do in a 1v1? Howdong can't do it. Zeta gonna hold him back, and T1 scrape through this game, Mike.
This is a quiet start to this second half from EDG, but again, fighting back with some of that tenacity they showed in the first half. Willing to go toe-to-toe here. I'll be honest, Sire and Ban, that duelist duo looking fantastic on the second half.
And that's the thing, I think you highlighted it well on that half flip. We wanted to see how well that duo would look going forward, and looking at it in the composition, it was going to suit them well, and it showed up here.
Yeah, I don't think the first half, I don't want to say EDG not getting more rounds was down to not employing the breach around Kankang, but Kankang was having a fantastic half.
Oh,
without the use of the utility. Absolutely. So coming into the second one, that's what I had my eye on. Again, T1 didn't even need to rely on it that much themselves.
This game from start to finish, though, categorizing it just felt like a bloodbath, didn't it? So much pinning on these individuals, these fights, and they were up for the challenge constantly. No one fully backed away. There was a lull, it felt, from EDG for a second or two, but they picked back up on it.
T1 matching the tempo, though. We always talk about the regional differences with Chinese teams coming into the international stage. This is the sort of play style that, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it, would catch an EMEA team off guard.
Oh, they'd hate it.
Pacing,
They'd hate
exactly.
it.
So the fact that T1 are able to match this and come out on top is really impressive to me. Talking about maybe this is a little more familiar for EDG, so they're happy to employ this, but definitely happy with T1's performance here in map 1.
Yeah, the fact that they kept up with that tempo, right? They didn't get overwhelmed by it. One timeout, but it was actually after a couple of good rounds from them as well. Maybe just keep those new players on the same page, keep Ban firing the same way. But Sire play, to me, what a safe pair of hands as well. Be able to handle Can on the other side.
And this is where Zeta had a quiet map 1. Again, put it down to him being on the breach, sure, whatever, however you want to paint it. But bear in mind, Zeta, I believe overall, top 10 player from the Pacific season. Statistically, so the fact that T1 can ride this on Sire player excelling so much is a huge positive.
That was map 1. Map 2 is Haven. Do not go anywhere.
Red Bull gives you wings.